Yo, I was just listening to The Weeknd's new mixtape or album. I'm not sure. I never know what kind of project anybody's doing anymore, whatever name. Besides the point. And I'm listening to it, and there's this one track, My Dark Times, something like that. It's got Ed Sheeran on it, right? And I was listening to that word for word, like intricately, like an in-depth listen to it. And I realized why people like Ed Sheeran and people like The Weeknd shift hundreds of thousands of units no matter what. Right, it's the same with Adele. I think the only person that sells out Ed Sheeran at the moment is Adele. Right, so that, and everybody knows all three of them. They're big names, right? Anyone you think's popping in hip hop could not buy a pair of shoes for these motherfuckers, right? Because they're killing it that much. Okay, they could probably buy a pair of shoes, but you get the context of what I'm saying, right? And while I say the word context, let's get into this shit. Why are they selling so much? Well, here's the thing with hip hop, right? For the most part, this isn't generalization, do you know what I mean? Just for the most part. I'm not saying everybody does this, right? But say you make a track about going to the club. You're just going to say that you went to the club. You're going to say, you know, you were getting it in. You might say that, you know, you were powdering people's noses. You might say there were some bad bitches around you. There were some strippers. You were throwing money, whatever like that, right? Now, that story is a story that I can listen to 100,000 other rappers say right now. If I go on my newsfeed right now, I guarantee you I'll find you a song, or I'll find a song where one of you motherfuckers is talking about that shit, right? More than one. Nearly every song I see is going to be about the same shit, right? What I loved about this Ed Sheeran and Weeknd track was that, like, it's about after the club, they had got into a fight on the way home. They were covered in blood, and there was a girl that came back with, you know, the character that they're singing from the perspective of. They took a girl home, and, you know, she's tending to what's going on. They're still taking drugs. They're on their come down or wherever, and, you know, he can see that she seems to be falling in love or something, and he's trying to say, like, look at me, like, you don't want to fall in love with this. I'm fucked up. I'm covered in blood. I'm high as shit, do you know what I mean? I'm on a come down from drugs, and just that context of the content, it's like, yeah, you can make a club track and still stand out by just telling your story. Your story shouldn't sound like anybody else's. Like, why not talk about the pre-drinks where your friend passed out drunk and you didn't know if he was going to make it or not? You know what I mean? Why not talk about the walk home from the club, or the ride home from the club, or the after party of it where everybody's fucked up and all that shit? You know what I mean? It's always got to be the same. Oh, I was there and I'm flawless and I'm a boss and all the bitches was on me. Make a track about trying to get with a chick and she was like, nah, you ain't got enough money for me, or something. Like, just, you gotta do something different, man. Like, that's what makes the difference, right? If you come with, it's all about storytelling, right? If you can tell a better story or a different story, like, why do you want to hear the same story again and again? And that's consumers. Consumers don't want to hear your shit about doing the same thing all the time. Why not invigorate them with some new ideas and new concepts in your music? And I think that's what's separating people like Adele, people like The Weeknd, people like Ed Sheeran, right? People like Drake, that, you know, I've got that notoriety, and I'm selling records upon records upon records, and they're not bracketed in any kind of industry or any type of genre. Like, Drake's hip hop, yeah, but, you know, he's got fans across the board in everything, because his music is higher than the box that you guys let hip hop put you in, basically, where you've got to tell the same story or you're not cool. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad, get motivated. Don't make hits, make history. Take this shit in. Hey, you ain't gotta listen to me, but I'm still talk. It's up to you. Don't get mad, get motivated. Let's go.